Jared, you there, bud?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Dirty J, what's cracking, buddy?
Hanging out.
Well, you're getting ready for the show, I hope. You've been on tour for a tick now, is that correct?
A couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so far so good?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about the story behind the Dirty Heads. I love the story of you and Dustin meeting together in high school and hanging out in the garage and forming your own little sound and everything like that. It reminds me a lot of me doing a punk band or starting a little punk band back in high school. Same thing. We had inspirations like Sublime and Pennywise and all these different punk bands and reggae dub bands. And everything seemed to kind of come together and vibe. And that's what you and Dustin had when you guys started, correct?
Yeah. I met him in high school, and I really didn't have any interest in music until I met him, and he had the soundproof garage, and we just had a lot of the same tastes in the hip-hop that we listened to, the classic rock that we listened to, the reggae that we listened to. And when we were writing music, we weren't necessarily talking about let's formulate this style of music. It's just that's just kind of what came out.
Yeah, you're just having fun.
Completely.
Yeah. And both of your inspirations as far as music kind of combined to make your own sound.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's what do you say your biggest inspiration was? I mean, Sublime, correct?
Yeah, at the time, I feel like Beastie Boys and Sublime were the biggest inspirations due to the fact that those are the two bands, and still to this day, I think that blended so many genres of music, and people really didn't. I mean, they noticed, obviously, but they did it in a way that it was so original and it wasn't confusing, So it was like we were listening to Beastie Boys and we were listening to Sublime, taking reggae, taking hip-hop, taking all these other things and just mashing them up and making something completely original that was still cohesive. I think that's what we wanted to do, something that just wasn't just normal. I don't think we ever want to do that. I think that's the beauty of this band. It's always the alternative of what it would be. It's always a twist on something, and that's what makes it fun. We're not just going to play reggae. We're not just going to play folk. We're not just going to play hip-hop. There's always going to be some sort of twist so that we can make it ours.
Yeah, and I think for people who aren't familiar exactly what you're talking about, they just got to listen to your song Believe, and that describes a lot of your inspirations.
Yeah, that explains pretty much everything.
Yeah. Well, and as far as like not just doing reggae and not just doing punk or not just you're doing your own sound, but I love the collaborations you've done too. Like, for example, my favorite is Slash and M Shadows. You do Check the Level. Did you actually get to hang out with Slash and M Shadows?
Yeah, so the Avenged Sevenfold guys have been friends of ours since childhood, like very early, like third grade. We've known all of them.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Duddy used to play Little League with Matt, and me and Jimmy was my best friend and one of my best closest friends until he had passed away. We went to school together, middle school, all that.
No way.
So it was funny because they were starting. They had a more of like a punk kind of hardcore band, and we were just doing all this stuff in the garage, and we were friends, but we were riding two totally separate waves. And they went off and did their thing, and we went off and did our thing, and it was just crazy to watch these two completely different bands from the same exact city, go and write their stories. And it was insane watching them, and I'm sure it was a little surreal for them to watch us do it. It's just cool when we sit down and hang out with the guys now, just like, huh.
Yeah. You play the back in our day cards. Remember back in my day?
Yeah. So that was an easy hang. I mean, I just called up Matt, and then Matt happened to be, when I called up Matt, was like, hey, do you want to do a song? He's like, of course. I'm actually in the studio right now doing Slash's album. And we were like, well, does he want to do a song also? He's like, yeah. So I think the whole featuring thing and working with other artists, I think really comes from our love of hip-hop and how hip-hop artists are always having features on it. They're always having people come in and put their touch on the song, and it's really cool. I think even if it's not a hip hop song, we'll still have people on it, just because it's really fun to see what another musician or another singer or another writer would do to something to your song, and be like, oh man, I never thought about that. It's just really fun to be creative with other creative people and see what they would do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of other artists and stuff too, you guys were writing with Rome before he even went over to Sublime. You guys, I remember the first time I discovered both you and Rome was on the Peer.org compilation.
Yeah, that kid was living in a van when we met him.
Yeah.
He was literally living in his van outside of the studio that we worked at, that we were writing at. And he just came in and started to become our friend, and he would play these songs. And we were like, man, this kid is really talented. And it was in the same vein. And we just slowly became friends over the years and sat in the backyard one day and we're drinking beers and wrote Lay Me Down in like 20 minutes. And accidentally got in the demo, accidentally got into the hands of a radio programmer, and they played it. And next thing you know, it's
boom,
breaking records at #1.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember watching some of the Peer Magazine's sessions with Rome. And then, of course, he did Lay Me Down with you guys, and that I had to rush out and buy that compilation. It's good stuff.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
Wasn't the Movement was on that too? Weren't they on that Peer compilation?
Yeah. There was a lot of good bands on there, and yeah, we're out with the Movement right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Sublime with Rome, I actually named my son after Bradley Knoll, and I wanted to see, like, can you help me? I've been wanting to get a Sublime tattoo that isn't so cliche, like the 40 ounces to Freedom's Son or something like that. I was hoping to get something a little less cliche. Can you think of anything off the top of your head that might be a good one? I know, because all their albums have like all the flash art and everything on them. There's always a little bit of flash art everywhere scattered throughout their albums. I was thought about something about that, but
I think that is the smartest way to go.
Yeah.
It's take like a small piece of one of the bigger pieces that Opie did. Like, everybody always does the sun. Everybody does the mushroom.
No, I don't want to do that. It's too cliche.
But you can find. You gotta do a deep cut.
That's what I'm thinking.
Give me a minute. You gotta give me a minute.
He's like, man, I gotta dwell on that one.
You gotta give me a minute. I gotta go look. Maybe something from a song. What's
I'm thinking.
Song?
Well, man, there's a tough one too, right there.
That is a tough one.
5, 4, 4, 6, Ball and Chain. That's it. That's my favorite.
I won't judge you.
See, we're both gonna sit here and dwell on this now.
I'll get back to you.
Well, fine. You got a couple weeks. I'll just see you at the show. You should have a good idea by then. All right.
But by then I will.
Sweet. All right, man. Well, it's June 22nd. That is the day following the official first day of summer. So this is a perfect way for us to kick off summer in Western Montana. I don't know. The last few times you've been through town, have you taken an opportunity to go float the river or do anything fun around town?
I want to go fish.
Yeah, you do.
I might not make the show. I would like to go fish. I might never come back.
Well, there you go. The best part about Kettle House is that you can just fish right behind the venue.
I know.
Yeah.
But I brought this time. I didn't have them last time.
There you go. Bring your waders and your fly pole, man. You'll be good to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dirty Heads, Iration, The Movement, and Pacific Dub performing live June 22nd, Kettle House Amphitheater. Dirty J, thanks so much, buddy.
Thank you, man.
We'll see you there.